There is something to be said about a black girl wearing hoops. It just kind of elevates the entire mood of everything that you're doing, everything that you're wearing, okay? Everything that you're experiencing out here in the world, okay? It just gives main character energy. It gives black girl magic. Black girl and her hoops. A black girl and her hoops. Sorry. I'm not. No, I'm actually that cute. Yeah. Hey, y'all. My name is Shannon Ray. I'm feeling a little rusty. I haven't done this in a couple of weeks because I've been, focusing on some other projects. You Good Sis, the podcast with my bestie, Benita Bolton, has launched, and we're really gearing up to create more episodes, more opportunities for community engagement. A lot of good things coming from that venture. Then personally, there are so many things going on. Things are happening left, right, and center, and I am grateful for it all. It's all extremely positive, but it has made me just be a little bit lax when it comes to Hey Shannon Ray. But here I am back, and I can't wait to tell you what I have coming up. But instead of doing that, I want to just pace myself and start with what I want to talk about today. And by start, I mean a little bit. I have a quick question. At what age do we stop with the hormonal acne? Honestly, I feel like when you hit 30, you should no longer be subjected to acne trying to take up real estate on your face. You only have so much face in the first place. So how dare you? How dare you? Show up. Boom, boom, both cheeks. Noi. Real quick, if you are new here, I offer you my sincerest salutations. We come together each week-ish to talk about life and the experiences that we're having, the lessons that we're learning, and I love the opportunity to share what God has revealed in my life through these experiences. So if you're into that sort of thing, positivity, light, happiness, joy, love, all of those things, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So, today I want to talk about something that I've touched in different ways at different phases, but I want to specifically speak to this from the perspective of someone who was married at one point, someone who truly believed they were out the dating game, someone who thought the trajectory of their life would look much different at this age and stage. They're on a different track. They have a very specific call on their life. And so they're not able to lean into dating or culture in the way that some others are. Today, I want to talk about singleness, but I want to talk about it from the perspective of what happens when you get lonely. Singleness, I believe, by far is the most important development time of your life. And I want to talk about this aspect of loneliness that singleness has attached to it, because I think far too often we rail against it. Far too often we think that we're doing singleness wrong. It is human, but instead of attacking it, instead of looking at it through the guise of I'm doing something wrong, singleness is punishment, I need to be preparing for a husband, I want to talk about loneliness as it stands. The reason I think that so many people struggle with the aspect of truly being by themselves is because loneliness is hard. And I'm not talking about those fleeting moments of loneliness. That's totally normal. Experience something great or accomplished something great and you have nobody to go out and celebrate with you. You're sick and you would really love someone to come and bring you some soup or just be willing to be around you because you got surgery or you had your wisdom teeth removed or all of those different things, those life moments that it would be nice to have some companionship. Totally get that. I think that's normal. I don't believe that men and women are meant to walk this earth alone. However, when we get into those moments where we're having these seasons of loneliness, where we're feeling that emotion sit with us and we're in that for a while, that is truly, truly a difficult spot to be in. I'm going to tell you something very honest. Loneliness will put you in a position to make some bad choices. Maybe you decide to spin the block, feeding your ego, feeding your desire for company, whatever it may be. Maybe you make the decision to go move somewhere else or go chase this dream even though it's not God-led, even though it's not the right time for it, and you put yourself in a more difficult position because you want to escape the feelings of loneliness. My first tip to you, if you are in this season, if you are feeling loneliness be more than a fleeting emotion, is to look inward. Figure out why you feel this way. Is it that you're missing something or someone in particular? Or have you built something up in your mind that you're longing for that you haven't had yet? Maybe we're missing more God. Maybe we're missing more self-affirmation. Maybe we're missing purpose. Maybe we're missing call. Maybe there's confusion. Sit in some of that loneliness and explore while we're having those feelings. When you're looking inside and you're trying to figure out what's going on, call it by its name. What is it that it's drawing you to reach for a resource outside of yourself? What is it that you are actually looking for? Before you pick up the phone and you start to vent, before you start speaking your loneliness, before you start speaking your frustration, and you haven't taken the time to explore why you feel this way or what is happening with you, my second piece of advice, which is equally as important, is to guard your mouth. What you speak, you become. What you put out, you receive back. If you say you're lonely, then it adds to that loneliness. If you speak about frustration, then you add to your frustration. And until you get to the point where you've shifted your heart and you've shifted your mind, you have to guard your mouth in order to protect the season that you were in. No one wants to stay lonely. And I know it doesn't, and it probably sounds silly. It probably sounds quite mystical to think that what you say comes into fruition, but it does. Or that what you say, what you speak becomes an actual physical thing, but it does. We have so many scriptures about that, about the law of attraction. We talk about all of these different things that we know that what you put out returns to you. Guard your mouth. If you are wanting or needing to vent, I suggest maybe write it down while you're exploring what's really going on inside you. I suggest you not put on a mask, because I'm not asking you to be fake. I'm asking you to be careful. You have to be careful about the way that you're speaking about yourself, your life, your situation. You have to be careful about the way you're speaking to your friends about what you need, the way you're speaking to people who don't care about you about what you need, because a lot of that spills over into perceptions. A lot of that helps people make decisions about how to approach you. And when you're no longer in that season, you're now having to clean up the mess that was left behind with your words. I really think it's the same concept. Think about how it is when you are talking with your homegirl and she is venting to you about her man. They have managed to make their relationship work. They are still together, even though she was venting to you, but you are left with residual feelings of disdain, or you're looking at him sideways because of some of the things that you learned about him. No, it's a little bit different because right now you're talking about loneliness. Maybe you're getting what you need, but what you could be doing is inviting more negativity or inviting the wrong resources into your life, because a resource that isn't meant for you or a resource that is mishandled becomes a weapon. You have to be careful about what you say when you're in moments where you're feeling less than great. Manipulation can come in. Lies about yourself can come in. You'll start to think things about why you're lonely or why people aren't with you, why you aren't close to certain folks. Those lies start to inform the way that you move. Those lies start to inform the way people move around you. Guard your mouth. It's that important. Guard your heart. You are in a fragile state, regardless of whether or not you think so. If you're feeling lonely beyond moments, beyond a day, and you're literally dwelling in that season of feeling like you don't have who you need around you, it becomes you don't have what you need around you. And you feel yourself turning against either your own self and your actions, or maybe even God. And what I don't want to happen is you to harden yourself in this state of loneliness. What I mean by this is guarding your heart means understanding the nature of what you want and the nature of who your provision is. I'm a Christian. I think we are pretty clear on that. I am walking this walk as imperfectly as everyone else around me. And one of the things that I found myself doing in these states of loneliness is taking my frustration out on God, which was impacting our relationship, which was impacting the way that I saw God, and in turn, the way that I saw myself. I began to question things. Are you even called to do certain things? Are you even in the right space? Are you living in the right state? Are you living in the right city? Are you pursuing the right line of work? Do you need new friends? Do you need to add to the friends that you have? Do you need to get back on dating sites? Do you need to do those different things? And again, all of loneliness isn't about being in a relationship. One thing that I learned while walking this walk is that if you're lonely in your singleness, you'll be lonely in a relationship too. We'll get to that. That's for another video, but I do want to put a pin on that, a sticky note, if you will, because if you can't handle these moments of changes, ups and downs by going to God, you're putting too much emphasis on what this person in a relationship with you should be. I digress. Wasn't trying to go down that road because I don't want to just focus on dating all of the time. I want to focus on what it means to walk this earth with God and with yourself and have that be enough. If you are not guarding your heart against what these lonely feelings are, what these lonely seasons are, then you run the risk of making choices that betray yourself. You run the risk of having relationships with people who you know you shouldn't be with, having relationships with people who you know are not true friends. They talk about you to your back. At this point, they might even be talking about you to your face. You're doing jobs that burn you out, or they take advantage of you. You're betraying yourself rest. You're betraying yourself growth. You have to be careful about what you're doing in this season by guarding your heart. How do you do that, right? Well, maybe that's getting scripture. Maybe that's taking yourself on a vacation. Go to the beach. Have some time with yourself to just enjoy yourself. Don't wait for company in order to live life. I fully believe in the beauty of what life has to offer for you. It doesn't always have to be attached to her or to him or to them. We are always walking with someone. We are always with God. And sometimes you can't feel him wrapping his arms around you. Sometimes you don't have him to run to the store for you, but you are never without what you actually need when you are walking with him. When we're talking about loneliness and we're talking about how to guard our mouth, how to look inside, how to guard our hearts, we need to meet this moment. We need to meet this season with strategy. When I knew that I was moving back from having lived with my parents after my divorce for a while, for some months actually, I decided that I needed to have a strategy for going back into a city where, although I have amazing and strong, great friendships here, I wasn't going to be able to run with them the same way that I had before. I am single again. And so that means that there are going to be places and spaces that they just don't have the availability. Not that they lack the desire, but they don't have the availability. And then the places that they might not have the desire, right? Where maybe I'm going to parties or I'm doing single women things. I needed to have a strategy on how to approach things. Once a month, every month, I planned something, but maybe it was going to a concert or a gallery opening or whatever it was, something to get myself out of the house and out of my norm where there would be other people and maybe not necessarily someone who came or arrived with me, but it was an opportunity for me to have something to look forward to, and it wasn't dependent upon anybody else. Live your life. Live your life. You being in this single season, you being in this incubation of loneliness is an opportunity to change your mind, your heart, and your experience. You have the opportunity to live big and fully and truly. And you can invite people along the way where it fits, where it aligns, but don't count on those people to make the experience. I hope that's helpful, y'all. I just wanted to chat about that. We can absolutely talk about singleness as it pertains to dating, but in a different scope, not just what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I'm not a relationship expert. I'm just going to tell you about some things that I've learned along the way that might be helpful for your journey too. If you have experienced singleness, I would love to hear about how you dealt with being lonely. All right, y'all. I love you. I love you for real. And I hope you have just the best day ever, okay? Be sure to log on to HeyShannonRay.com and like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure you're following You Good Sis here so that you can catch all the updates and the tea from me and my BFF in our new podcast. Like, comment, subscribe. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.